All right, boys. What's happening? Welcome. How we doing?
Good. What's the name of this pod now? I heard there was a change.
The Shop Beers Podcast, Lewis.
Where's your shop beer?
Right here.
Nice.
Actually, funny enough, rolling in my 5.0 koozie.
I guess need a new koozie this year.
We got a little bit of everything. Check this shit out. The Honky Tonk Lager.
Oh, look at that. Were you at the old local honky tonk? Is that like a national thing?
I guess I did a favor for a friend, and I thought I brought these ones, but there's a 6-pack of beer called Garage Beers, which I thought would have been perfect for tonight. And then these Honky Tonk ones.
Gas Winky Garage Beers? Those ones?
I don't know. They're a brown can. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it's like a light, like a tan.
Yeah.
And it just says Garage Beer. Yeah, that's some Gas Monkey stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into here, but this is tasty. It's nice.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Okay, Lewis, tell us a little story. What are you doing in Texas? Was it too cold in Florida or what?
Yeah, no, we're in summer now. That's gone. Actually, we took a trip to Boston, and while we were there, we did go to Fenway and catch a game. We've never been to one there, and Laura wanted to have a traditional baseball game, so Tom and Aaron set that up. They met us up there, and we spent the day with them. Watched the Sox game. They won. And I'm not big into sports, or especially live sports, but it was fun. The energy is a lot different than, sitting there trying to watch that shit on TV. But the energy in the stadium and the fans and everything, it was really cool. And Fenway's, most shit in Florida is not that old. So it was really cool to see. We had a really good time with that. So we did that. We, did a bunch of things up that way. And we were going to fly home Wednesday. And I told her, I said, Friday I'm off. I have a holiday. So I said, she's like, oh, well, when my vacation rebooted, she's like, oh, you mentioned going to see Chris and helping him out. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what about if when we leave Boston, we get home and then you can fly over there? And I'm like, well, I got one better for you because that's a waste of time. What about when we leave Boston, we go straight to Austin and
bingo,
and Chris and Britt for the rest of the week and then go home. So we got here. The hell day is today? Thursday. Yeah. So we got here yesterday morning. So we left early Wednesday morning, got here early Wednesday morning because, we made up an hour. And then, so hit the ground running. Today we went to Martin Brothers, which is cool. I haven't been there since the last time I was out here. So,
heck yeah, buddy. Yeah, you're almost living a semi-retired life, especially when you're asking what day it is. That's good.
Yeah, well, I took advantage this time and I said, you know what? Everything's working smoothly. So work laptop did not come, work phone did not come, work nothing came. So I'm actually having a proper vacation instead of bringing shit with me. So, which, they encourage us to have a work-life balance. So,
yeah. How much of a pain in the ass is it to carry 2 phones?
Dude, when I first started, it was annoying as all hell. And since I do wear my readers now, I have the plus size phone. So having 2 big phones is even more annoying because I requested a bigger phone at the office too. I'm like, no, that little baby phone doesn't work for me. So I've been at that now just over 8 years. So I'm used to it.
Okay.
So now when I don't carry one of them, I almost feel like I'm missing something.
Oh, weird.
Work was gracious enough to offer they'll pay for my phone and I'll just have one phone. But then I can never have it separate between personal or professional. So I'm like, no, I need them separate. Because then what happens is you're like, oh, what's happening? Let me check an email or let me answer this message or let me do that. You kind of get, sucked into that working all the time, whether you want to or not. So now that I'm separated, I can actually separate that. Because when we had the company, and I would be on vacation, I'm not on vacation. Like you have to maintain, communicate with your customers and all that. So you're never off. So when
that's actually, I know we probably wanted to talk a lot of car stuff, but while we have him here, because we had all the pods about the corporate switch, and this guy corporate switched and then switched back to corporate again.
Yeah. Yeah, you went to the dark side. No, you went to the. Okay, I want to try to use some Star Wars shit here for you, but I'm failing miserably. You went Jedi, and then you went. What's Darth
Luke.
Vader?
Luke is your father. Who's
Sith.
that guy?
Darth Vader.
Sith,
Daddy,
right?
Sith.
You went
You
Sith.
were halfway there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh. Or no, you went Sith, Jedi, Sith. You're on the dark side again.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys both kind of admitted in your own ways. Like, look, I have one boss. You have infinite number based on customers, but it's outside of that. It is somewhat similar. Being able to set your terms, like when do you want to work? I want to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Stuff like that, or the hours of the day, or you can choose which customers you want to have as your boss. Those are definitely perks, and making money is all about what you put into it, right? You can make 100% of the profits or 100% of the losses, depending on what you're putting into your own business. And corporate is a little more structured. Your paycheck's guaranteed to a certain point because no one's job is indispensable. I don't have a job. I mean, let's face it. Tom's got a very specialized job. He's fortunate. He's probably indispensable. So he's got a job until he tells them to fuck off. I don't, but at the same time, I do have that job. As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it's there. So
I mean, how difficult? Because I remember when you did your first switch, which was sort of, what's the word? Like it happened that way. There was an opportunity, and
when we left South Florida, we moved to Central Florida. We moved. Put the kid in school. You're familiar with that. Put the kid in school. Yep. Laura had a job, and I started looking for a job. And I was like, I'd be applying to everything I could find, and I'm like not getting jobs. I would even get most of the time I wouldn't even get an interview. And I was like, okay, everyone's always said college education is the way to go. That's how you're going to get a job. And here I am with a college education, not being able to get a job. So they opened a Home Depot right there near us. And I went and applied for a job there. And the guy told me, listen, you're overqualified. And I said, listen, I can do everything you guys sell in the store. I was brought up like that. If the job is good, I'm not going anywhere. Exploit me if you think I'm overqualified. I don't care. So I should have put on the resume some high school instead of I have a college degree. So I couldn't even get that job. And
that's a topic when I finally itself, did find
it. So when I did finally find a job, the company that hired me, they had 3 engineers. They hired 2 more. And then they didn't get a contract they were supposed to get. So 3 weeks to the day, the last 2 guys in were the first 2 guys out the door. And they're like, sorry. So now I'm back going, fuck, I can't find a job. Why do I, why did I go to all that school and I can't get a job? So I was about to just take on any job I wasn't struggling so much because Laura had a job, like I said, and we sold the house in South Florida. So, we were comfortable enough that I could take some time. And in the meantime, I did a few odd jobs. I flipped a few cars. I always had the cars and parts thing going in the background. So my stepdad left the company he was with and he says, hey, you want to start a business? So I said, sure. What do you got in mind? So he's been in communications his whole career. And he's like, let's start a comm company. So I was like, all right, well, I don't know anything about comm, but whatever, I'll figure it out. And he's like, yeah, you're an engineer. It'll be easy for you. I'll show you the basics. You run with it. You're super organized. It'll be fine. So 2 men, a van, $2,500 each. And we started hitting the pavement. We printed out flyers, ads in the newspaper. Yes, I know I'm dating myself. But, we did all that stuff looking for business. And the first few months was rough, man. I didn't see a paycheck. We started in October, and I didn't see a paycheck till like the end of January, I think, or February. And it was like this minuscule little paycheck. And we started building from that. And then that thing took off to its own, that took its own speed. But then fast forward, we were doing that. And it was 10 years, I believe it was 10 years. And then we had the opportunity to go overseas. And I was like, I'm kind of tired of the comm thing. It was getting very repetitive. We had built up the company enough that it was no longer just the 2 of us. We were less owner operator and we had a couple employees. So we had less, we still had to do some of the work ourselves, but we also had some employees. So it was, a small company. I think at the time we had 2 or 3. Can't remember.
Okay.
So we were doing that. And then like I said, it was getting repetitive. Well, I got hurt on the job, minor injury, but enough that I was like, I don't want to get dumb hurt. and then end up crippled or something. I fell into a fucking pile of light bulbs. Some moron paying minimum wage was taking down those fluorescents and laid them all on the ground instead of taking them out to the dumpster. And we were on a job site. I had my safety glasses, my hard hat, my steel toes, and I backed up. And I swear, dude, it was just like a cartoon. You step on them, they're round, and your feet are doing this, and you fly down. Well, I fell into them, cut myself here. Man, it looked like a crime scene because, you know, your blood's under pressure in this area. Sprayed the freaking wall. Everyone was freaking out. I'm like, no, I'm fine. You know, a little bit of pressure. So after that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready for something a little different. And then opportunity knocked. We took it 2 years overseas, came back, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do something else. And my stepdad at the time, the company kept growing while I was gone. I sold him my half and he kept running it. And he's like, I need your help. And I'm like, okay, fine. He is like a second dad to me. I would never say no to him. So no problem. I went to work for him. Well, as a couple of years being an employee for him, I said, listen, I can't be here anymore. I either need to come back up here or I need to do something else. So he's like, well, I might be ready to retire. Why don't you guys buy me out and you guys run the company, me and my wife. So now I'm back owner operator again, except now I had 6 employees. So we took that on for a few more years until the corporate position came up. And what it is they told me, listen, we're canceling all your contracts because we're going to do an in-house team. So I said, okay, so I need to, you know, start thinking, how do I want to rebuild the company? Because that customer got so big that I ended up, you know, as they always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I kind of had no choice. If I didn't take all their work and focus on them, they get another contractor and they split the work. Well, I don't want anybody else in my house, right? So we took all their work, and when they pulled the jobs that we had, they said, look, we're not starting these. We're going to do them in-house. Now I had to rebrand, right? So I'm like, okay, it's been 14 years. I'm not going to start, you know, beating down doors, handing out flyers, starting, you know, all that nonsense all over again. A lot of the customers that we used to service on the regular had now started in-house teams, or they had folded, or whatever the case might be. So it was literally restarting. So at that point, they offered me the job, so I took it, and that's when we made the next switch. At the same time, excuse me, luck would have it. She won't mind if I say it, but my wife got diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. They caught it quick, and that all cleared itself up. But I know we've talked about this before, especially Tom brought it up, is thank God I had insurance, right? It really helped.
Yeah.
And then right after that, COVID hit and everything shut down. And being a small business, I probably would have lost the company because at that point, nobody was doing any work. Everything shut down.
Right.
So I had two, you know, not that I'm superstitious, but I do think every turn has its merits. And it just worked itself out that we did make that decision and it worked out. So now it's been 8 years back on the other side of the fence. And here I am, you know.
Close to the 10-year mark.
Yeah. 10 years, exactly.
Getting the itch. So, well, did you love what you did when you were working for yourself doing the comm business?
So at first I liked it. I liked the design of saying, okay, I walk into a space, you know, I'm going to dumb it down. I need to run a cable from A to B. How am I going to do that? Figure out pathway. Is it pipe? Is it tray? Is it hangers? Like all the ins and outs of low voltage. And I enjoyed that aspect. And then in the comm room, you know, how do the cables get into the cabinet? You know, how do you land them, the layouts? And not that I'm a stickler for rules, but I like to set a standard. Okay, if this is the standard I'm going to work by, then everything after this will match that kind of thing.
Right.
It's not like I'm going to reinvent the wheel every single time because the work is the same. The materials are the same. It's just your presentation, right? And so I did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. There was some jobs, mind you, that I'm like, I don't want that job. I will bid that job higher than anybody else. So at least if I get it and I hate it, I'm getting paid good for it. And let me tell you, there's some jobs that I bid that I'm like, there's no way they're going to pay me this, like $200 an hour.
Everybody else probably did the same thing.
And I got the fucking job. And I'm like, I don't want this, but you know, and my wife being the person of reason would be like, but look, we're making good money on this. I'm like, yeah, but I hate it. So for the most part, I did enjoy the work. Managing the team, I mean, managing employees is the same, whether I'm doing it privately or corporate, it's the same. You still have people, you still got to treat them right. You know, you can't always tell them, hey, why are you being stupid? They don't, you know, that just doesn't work. But
yeah,
that part is the same. People are still going to test the boundaries just like kids. You know, that doesn't change at all. Like there's there's some rewards to that. You know, you treat people well, good people who are worth a shit they'll respect that. You know, you build that professional courtesy. So
yeah.
like the one year that we took a trip to Italy, and it was one of those like almost like a tour from like 20 people or so. And it would overall between flights and everything, it's almost 2 weeks. So we went the first week and I set up everything. The team was working and we managed them from over there. That's difficult given the time zones and everything going on. I'm like, yeah, this is a pain in the ass. So we told them for the second half of the week, we said, listen, everybody's off next week. We'll pay you. Stay home. Do whatever you want. And sure, that came off the bottom line for us. But at the same time, the employees were like, oh, shit, I got a free paid week. It doesn't come off my PTO. And then for us, we got a break, right? So you only had to answer a few emails from any of your customers that were asking questions. You can answer that, which is easy to do. So there are those kind of challenges, you know, but for the most part, yeah, it was enjoyable. And yeah, up until my first, all right, I had enough, I need a break. But then when I came back from Dubai, I jumped right back into it. So
Yeah.
it wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
The reason I ask is, I mean, well, this KASL Customs being like officially its own business now will be like the second business that I've ran, but the first, as much, it sounds to me like I enjoyed that first business as much as you enjoyed your comm business. You know, like it wasn't what I thought that I've been put on earth to do, but there was bits and pieces of it that I enjoyed.
Right.
And it was way better, at least by my definition, than it was working for someone else. But then see, I think there's a difference between doing your own business, like that's almost like stage one, but then like stage 4 or 5 is like doing your own business and doing something that you absolutely enjoy more than anything else. Like it is the thing that you would most likely do all day if you were retired. And that's the thing. Like, well, Lewis, you were texting me the other day because you were flipping out the seal on the front of your Kenny Bell blower. And like, I guarantee you I mean, sure, there was probably moments where you're like, shit, you know, I need this, or I don't have that. I got to make something work. Like there's always those moments, but like, could you imagine doing anything else with your time when you were doing that? Or did you enjoy every second of it? Like from a 10,000 foot level?
I understand exactly what you're asking. And it's difficult to say because during all of this on the side, I was still doing my hobbies, mostly the car thing. And for a lot of years, it wasn't just Fox bodies, it was Fox bodies and Volkswagens. So I had a 3-car garage, and it was like, this is the shop space, this is the Volkswagen, that's the Mustang. And then somewhere in there, the Bel Air was crammed in the back. But so there was always that car thing happening. So on a good day that we hustled, and I pick up the kid from school, we come home, we do homework, whatever, and then I'm out in the garage on the weekends, between house projects and stuff like that, I'm in the garage. So there was always that going on. And a lot of times while we're at work, we're driving around, I'm looking in I'm on Craigslist while we're out looking for what's available. And we're like, hey, Steve, stop over here. We're going to hit this on the way to this and go look at our car. So,
Right.
Half the time I would buy it and I'd be following him around to the job site until we got home with said car or parts. Or we were in.
So with that said, I'm assuming that this was probably at a time where the company was doing fairly good.
Yes.
So you were almost like supplementing things. So let's pretend the business was struggling.
Mm-hmm. 08 was a really bad year.
Yeah. So like, would you have still had the side hustle and the fun of that aspect, or do you think that would have helped upbring? I'm just curious on this balance, because it's almost like the scale of, you had had something that was fun with it, and obviously cash is flowing, it's probably more fun than cash not flowing. So like, how much weight did you have in both those scenarios, a struggling scenario and a we're doing good scenario?
Struggling, I use that a little bit. I'll use that loosely because when the business was slow, and through all of this, there was a very brief period that Laura didn't work, but she've always worked because she gets bored sitting around doing nothing. She's like, I want to work. And she likes to travel, which we didn't do a lot of when the kid was little because of logistics. But as the kid got older and we traveled more, so she's like, well, we both work. We'll say pseudo struggling because it's not like I was like, fuck, I'm rewinding the clock back to when the kid was born and I'm eating peanut butter and jelly and ramen noodles every day because it's all I could afford. So thank God I wasn't back to that shit and working 2 jobs. But the hobby side, enjoying tinkering in the garage, whatever, kind of paid for itself by whatever I bought or sold. I had a place 35 minutes up the street from us when we moved to Central Florida that the guy told me, yeah, those Mustangs always just sitting here. Any interior you want's $100. So I'd ride up there and pull an interior for $100, throw it in the back of the pickup truck and come home and, who wants a dash? 300. Who wants this? Another 300. So I turned that 100 into 1,000 in no time. And that's but money that we didn't budget. So our jobs paid for all the bills. And this was money for frivolous things or for a future trip or, one time when the house we bought needed windows. So I went and flipped the car and I'm like, okay, here's the cash. Where's the window guy? That kind of shit. So it's difficult to separate it so defined, like,
right.
Because in the meantime, I'm still having fun pulling parts, I mean, Steve and I were on a job and we stopped at some random junkyard and the guy had 2 Thunderbird turbo coupes there. And he's like, yeah, those have been here for a while. I'm like, how much you want for the rear ends? You remember? Those are the Cobra diffs, right? Or lug disc brake. He's like, $75 each. I'm like, sold, no problem. So the next day we were coming right back down there to continue the job. I brought my compressor with me. It was one of them horizontal tanks with the 2 wheels on it. Kind of looks like a pig. And we're wheeling that thing out into the freaking junkyard and it had just enough air to zip those rear ends off. And we threw them in the back of the van, went down the street, finished cabling this guy's office, went home with 2 rear ends. So you just, you're still working, but at the same time, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then Steve was kind of my gearhead, my stepdad. So through all my shenanigans, he's having a great time. So, he never was like, oh, forget this car shit. We should be pulling cable. He was like, let's go.
Right.
It works.
So maybe almost like tricked you into thinking that you were living the dream, so to speak. Like, I don't know. I guess this is a tricky thing to break down. And I know, Chris, you were kind of trying to, right? With the whole, like, imagine yourself in a shittier situation.
But you're right, though. It does give a little bit of a illusion. Like, would I have liked to have said, okay, I'm done with the com thing and do the other thing full time? I like to build stuff, whether it's like I like woodworking, I like building cars, restoration stuff. I enjoy all that, working with my hands. Would I have liked to have done that full time? Yes. But would I have been able to churn out something to sell and bring in money in a timely manner? If it takes me 6 months to restore something or build it to sell it, well, what am I doing for income for 6 months, right? So you'd have to have a platform to launch off of, kind of like what you're doing now. You sold what you could sell, you had some money to sit on to launch your business, right? And then now you're launching, you have some customers, although that looks like you're junk in the background. So you have your customers and now you're working, right? And you're bringing back that revenue because your business is taking off. So that part was a little bit difficult. And then, at the time and for a lot of years, it just was difficult to say, okay, I'm going to switch that yet again to do that. So I've talked about it more recently. And my wife's willing to support it. Like, she always jokes with me, is like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I'm like, I don't know. Because I couldn't tell her specifically. So that's why she's like, if you want to do something, start it on the side. And then once it takes off, switch. She's like, you can't just switch in the dark. And I'm like, no, absolutely. You got to have a plan.
That is good advice, which I think both Chris and I, in our own individual interviews, talked a little bit about that. I know, like, from my perspective, I was trying to show, I guess, whoever was listening at the time, and or Tom, who was interviewing, that, you know, if you look back on your life, you're going to have all these individual little wins, some bigger than others. Those are probably the ones that are the most important to like hone in on and appreciate and understand, because those are the things that I think help prove to yourself that you've got the balls to do these things and you're capable of doing it, versus like, oh man, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, well, remember when you remodeled that bathroom and you didn't know what the hell you're doing? You're not a contractor. You're not whatever. You did it, right? And you got to kind of like own that and be like, yeah, I figured that out. You know what I mean? Or I don't know, there's guys out there that have never taken the intake off their 5-liter and they just decide one day they're going to do it. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, kind of got a little bit of swagger now, right? Like, I know what I'm doing. It's those little wins.
Yeah, start small. Intake good. Yeah. Disassembling your T5 bad. No. Start small.
Right. And then don't start rebuilding the T5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, pull a dash out, right? Change your heater core. That gets you your stripes, right? But no, all jokes aside, like
pulling the dash for the first time to do the heater core, that'll tell you if you really love your car or not.
Yeah, that. And I was talking to a guy the other day with a vert, and he was going, hey, do you got any tricks for like kind of rebuilding the rear quarter windows? I'm like, nope. But I said, in vert land, I'm like, that's like changing a heater core. If you've done rear quarter windows and you can make those bitches seal, you get like 2 gold stars.
Yeah, changing the motor is no problem. Changing that guide thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't envy anybody who's got to do that.
Oh. Man, so anyway, I'm going to hit pause real quick because.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, let's see if the intranet's a little better now. I don't know where we were on there, boys, but something to the effect of like, really, proving to yourself that, you know, you can do these little things. And then Laura's advice, right, which is start small and build up. And I mean, I can speak personally. I mean, started a little, you know, Etsy store and 3D printed things and taught myself how to design shit in CAD. And this is all while I'm running my landscaping business. And it was completely through just the love of doing that. I could get lost for hours and hours doing it. And that's a pretty good sign, right? If you can get lost for hours doing something, you're probably on to whatever it is that you enjoy doing, right? And then, I don't know, YouTube and all the rest of this stuff, right? And you start going like, well, all of a sudden I've got these like 4 or 5 things that all kind of funnel in and surround this one thing. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe there's a business here. And well, here we are. So yeah, I don't know. I know that like Tom's got a point, because I've been on that corporate side of things and I've lived through, well, a lot of it was actually in the oil field, and that's got like huge ups and downs. Like, I mean, every 6 months you hear of like a big oil company laying off 10,000 people. Like, it's especially in Texas or Alberta, where I was in Canada, it's just nonstop because it's a boom and bust industry. So you were always looking over your shoulder going like, shit, what's coming, right? And that's not fun either.
I think it's like coming back to like the balance, right? Because like there's a lot of people that have, like, he didn't mind the cabling company. That wasn't something that he did his whole life. It just fell into it, happened to be a business opportunity and a venture, you know. And then I know I've had some so-called traditional corporate jobs or whatever that have been more than tolerable, right? And it's sort of like when it's good, it's really good. Right? There was a couple like great years in Dubai that it'd just be like, man, if it stays like this, but it's almost like when it's bad, it's really bad. And it's different when it's your own thing, because at that point, it's so easy to cast the blame on, oh, it's my 9 to 5, or oh, my boss sucks, or oh, this sucks. It's almost like you're fooling yourself, or you can point the finger. Whereas if you've got your own thing, the only person that you can point the finger is at yourself, right? So I think as long as you like, if you can tolerate your job and then you can have that side hustle, like, I think you're probably fine. In fact, that could actually be ideal in many ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, it's not like being your own boss, and yeah, you got every customer is a boss, and then you got your highs and you got your lows. Now, we always compare it. We're saying it. We're comparing it against the corporate switch. We're not comparing it against the tolerable switch.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that don't mind their jobs, like teachers, for one. Weird breed.
Yeah, I mean, taking care of 25 of other people's kids. I don't know how they do it.
Humans, yeah.
Or like, the caretakers, like the nurses and the teachers.
I always say that,
and all that,
special people.
Yeah, and
I'm glad they exist. Yeah, 100%.
Me too. 100%.
One of the tricky ones that I think is very misleading, at least for the way that I'm wired and the way that I've done things. I don't know the name of this kid, but he's done a really good job of promoting the shit out of himself on the internet, YouTube, Instagram. He's on all of them. And he walks up to people in really fancy settings, beautiful cars out front. And he's like, "Excuse me, sir, what do you do? And how did you get rich?" You know the guy,
what do you do
right?
for a living?
Yeah,
totally. And more often than not, you get well, listen, I was working for somebody else and then I thought I could do it better. So I started my own thing. And that thing was like insurance or mortgages or, like, nothing against those industries, but like non-sexy, if you will. Like, nobody wins the lottery and goes, now I'm going to be a mortgage broker. You know what I mean? Like, that's never been said. So the tricky thing with that, though, is I think it misleads a lot of people, because they're like, oh, so you mean to tell me that, like, if I just carve my own little path in insurance or mortgage brokers or whatever, I can be like this guy and I can be in Monte Carlo driving a Bentley and all this shit? It's like, no, you can't. Like, that guy's the anomaly right there. He is, I'm sure, had a lot of whatever. I don't want to say that the guy didn't have a lot going for him, but probably 51% of his wealth was pure timing and pure luck. And so where I'm going with all this is, I don't necessarily think the path to like you doing your dream, whatever it is like mucking your way out for 8 or 10 years, just so then at the end of that 10 years, you can now do what you want to do. Because what's dangerous about that is you don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. Like, Chris, you just went through it. Like, shit can surprise you at any given moment. So unless you got like a guaranteed banger, like you're Biff in Back to the Future and you got the fucking almanac, right? Unless
sports almanac.
Yep. Unless that's the case, I think you should spend as much time as possible doing something you love. And I know it's cliche and you hear all these fucking gurus say it, but it's like, do what you love and everything will work itself out. The money will follow, like all that stuff. I mean, in a roundabout way, it does. I don't know if, like, Chris, we talked about this, dude. I mean, you do also adapt and you get really good at pivoting and like, okay, shit, money's a little tight this month. Like, we're going to do this and then that's going to happen. And like, you get creative. I don't know. It all works out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You just got to trust. and believe.
Well, I think too, like, it's whenever you're immersed or thrown in a situation that you have to, it's always like when you see the couple and they're both working and then they have these kids and then they're like in sports or this or that, or like, even if I looked at you in pro with 3 daughters, I'd be like, how the fuck do they manage or have time to like do what they do?
We till all 3 are dating.
Yeah. But like, you manage to make it work, right? So, and it's just, and that's your norm. Like, yeah, you might not be sleeping very much, or, you know, you're like, oh my God, stressed to the nines, but we all are in our own ways or situations.
Our own reality. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. You like, people with 2 kids can't imagine how people with 3 do it, and 3 can't imagine 4, and it's a whole thing. And it's that, I said this on a pod recently, like, the hardest thing you've ever done is the hardest thing you've ever done. And fuck, man, like, the thing that I get so passionate about with all of this is, I'm like, all of this can go away tomorrow. And the last thing you want to think as tomorrow never comes is, fuck, why didn't I? That is like the worst regret that you could ever have. And so now's the time. Like, yesterday was the time. I don't know.
Yeah. But, you know, if you take that, which it makes sense, but take that and say, okay, I don't want to wait. I want to make sure I do it. So starting this Saturday, I'm going to start XYZ moving forward. Like you said, I get hit by a car on Friday. It's like, okay, you had the plan. You never know. But saying I'm going to start it, never starting, and absolutely, then you're always going to be second guessing yourself.
Yeah. So, you know, buddy, I said this here recently as well. I mean, like, what we've been able to, or been blessed to have happen in our lives with this adventure that we're on down here, is unbelievable. And I mean, it's kind of scary to look back and think it took us almost 12 months to put that all together. And to your point, Lewis, a lot could have happened in 12 months. Yep. But I do remember on multiple occasions saying to my wife, I'm like, even if tomorrow doesn't come, and this was probably said at like 1:30 in the morning, as we got fucking personal documents laid out all over the garage floor, like we're scanning shit with our phones. It's just it was 11 months of pure chaos. And I'm like, if tomorrow doesn't come, I know in my heart that I'll be proud that I was at least trying.
Right. You tried. If you didn't succeed, is one thing, but you tried it, rather than you have regrets that you never, you were doing months of prep and everything. You guys worked, you planned, you weren't 10 times in debt over your asshole trying to go through a whole new adventure. Like, there's stages you worked up to so you can execute it, right?
Yeah.
That just has to be part of if you want to make a change.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be that washed up quarterback in the bar that, like, you know, had an attitude and totally. And didn't go to that tryout because he already knew he was better and should have made it and all that shit. Nobody wants to be that guy. That is a miserable death sentence. You know, not to get like into the religious realm of things, but in my opinion, that right there is hell. Like, that is the definition of eternal shit. Taking those last few breaths, that would be a miserable existence, man, when you're going like, dang it, I was going to start tomorrow. I don't know.
Just as long as every day doesn't turn into I'll start tomorrow, and, you know, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But dude, that's the thing. I think way too many folks are living in that existence, right? Like, oh, tomorrow I'll start, but tonight I'm going to watch 15 more episodes of whatever, right? It just, I don't know.
Well, what is it? What did I say? 3 weeks to build a habit. So
yeah,
you've got to break the old one to start the new one. It's not easy. It takes discipline. I'm not gonna lie. I wish every day I come home from work, I'd cook dinner and I'd haul my ass out into the garage and get shit done faster. But guess what? Sometimes I come home, I'm tired, I don't want to do shit. So I cook dinner, we eat, and I plop my ass on the couch and hang out with my wife. Like, that's not productive, but I'm like, tomorrow I'll go finish putting that shit together. The seal can wait one more day.
Well, let me ask you this though, buddy. Like, do you, like, at the end of your day, and I mean, maybe, I don't know, I'd be lying if I said I did this every single day, but most days I do. Like, I'm constantly questioning myself on, like, was today a good day? Like, did I accomplish enough? If tomorrow never comes, it always has that underlying tone to it. Like, was today a good day based on that standard? And, you know, I think it was it wasn't last night, night before, maybe. I did exactly that. Like, I went home and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm just going to sit on the couch and I'm going to blow my brains out on old 80s and 90s movies with the kids for a bit. And it was great. I will admit, there were times where I'm like, man, I should be doing something right now, but I didn't. And it was kind of nice. So I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. It's just,
absolutely,
if while you're doing it.
But you know, I understand that scenario. Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you there, Garrett, but
yep.
Can you hear us? Oh yeah. So I get what you're saying. And when my daughter was younger, like your girls, I had a different point of view than I do now that she's in her 20s and moved out. You know, she's living her life. I used to do a lot more of that. Well, should I do this or should I do that? But I want to spend the time with the kid, right? Take her out back swimming, or we went out for a walk, or whatever she wanted to do. Go to her dance classes and sit there, bored out of my mind, thinking there's something else I could do, whatever the case might be. Yep. But as she got older and you had less of those activities, because as they get older, they know more than us, right? We don't know anything. We're the dumb old people.
Oh yeah.
Then I stopped thinking about that as much, because I was like, well, thank God I took those experiences then, right? I don't think of like, shit, why didn't I spend that extra 5 minutes doing XYZ with the kid, things like that. And then like now I don't think about that. I do think, I don't look at things a little differently. Like, I wouldn't come home from work going, oh, am I happy with today's results, or, however you described it. It's only if there's like a day was extra stressful or something like that, I'm like, okay, do I want to keep doing this crap? Like, do I hate this or do I not hate this? That I do think of that occasionally. I've got a little over an hour ride home, usually an hour and 10 minutes or so. So I got some decompression time there. And sometimes I talk to the wife. Other times I'm listening to podcasts, stuff like that. Or I like, okay, no more talking, music only. And it does help bring back the perspective, because I'm sure you've been there. You can get in your own head and really fuck stuff up. So don't want to go too far off into the woods. So that I look at a little different. But you do have a point. And especially, like I said, with your kids at the age they're at, they're doing so many things, and you got 3 of them to factor in there. So you want to keep on, there's experiences that your wife's going to see because she's there and you're not. I mean, we had times where, Steve and I were on job. We'd be gone all week because we go and travel the state to visit our customers, so we're gone Monday through Friday. So I miss out on whatever's happening Monday through Friday. But guess what? Saturday and Sunday, I'm more hyper focused to try to, I don't know if catch up's a bad word, but again, when she was smaller, it's much different than when she got bigger, because those things changed and their interaction with me changed. And we still had homework time. We'd hang out. That was always something, dinner time. We always ate at dinner as a family, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that, well, like everything in life, perspective is key. Greg at FP Performance there, he was mentioning to me after we were done recording the other night, because he's got a very young family, and he said his little one said to him, Daddy, she kind of brought it up in a real adult manner too. And she was like, Dad, can I talk to you for a sec, kind of thing? And he's like, of course, I really wish you weren't so busy all the time. Right. And it's like, oh my God, like this is just grabbing you in the balls of your soul, right? Just wrecking you instantly. You're like, fuck, what am I doing? You know, because this is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum of what we're talking about, where like you can pull yourself so far away from your family that, you know, it's hard to come back. And I said to him, I'm like, dude, you know, I went through a lot of the same thing. And I still, with Sadie, my youngest, get a little bit of that every now and again. But I mean, you guys know me. I mean, not everybody listening to the pod knows me as well as you guys do, but I mean, very involved dad. It's one of those things you got to have an appreciation of, like, how kids understand things. They're kind of like goldfish. Their fucking memories about 3 seconds long at times, you know? But anyway, I said, buddy, all of this is going to come full circle for you, I guarantee. And I told him this story about coming to the shop here and inheriting a lot of the stuff that's in here, including these just thin, like Home Depot 4x8 sheets of whiteboard. I said, the kids were here with me one night and I was doing whatever, and they were in the office, and they found the whiteboard pens. And unbeknownst to me, they had written me some notes that I didn't find until the next morning. And it's these notes that, like, it sounds like the parent kind of writing the kid. And it's shit like, Dad, I'm so proud of you and that you're chasing your dreams and like all this shit. I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to get all choked up. But I'm like, Greg, it's going to come full circle for you, buddy. You know, like this, especially if you're the type of dad, which I think he is, that has conversations with his kids and helps them understand what dad's doing, right? Or what mom's doing, or whatever. Like, just discuss these things with them, because at the time they might not know, and maybe it is just a conversation that they're missing. But that is a tricky one, right? I mean, I often wonder, you know, because we're quite busy with the kids, right? And they play a lot of sports and stuff. And you see some families and you go like, holy shit. I mean, you guys must just be like wealthy beyond belief, because I don't really know how both of you are here all the time. Both of you are showing up in like white and black Escalades, like the whole thing, right? And you're going, fuck, like, I know how far a dollar goes. This doesn't make sense. And I guess in a perfect world, if a guy planned it out appropriately, by the time you were at that stage of life with kids, you would be like very comfortably set up. We're not there, right? Like, we're fucking fighting for every penny. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the answer to it all is, boys. I just know at the end of the day, if you're happy, you're going to be happy around your wife. You're going to be happy around your kids. You're going to exist with your friends in a more happy state versus, yeah, like just wishing that you were doing something else, you know? Just changes your whole outlook on life. Anyway, I'm getting all worked up here. I got to get some more beer in me.
Well, go grab that. I'm pausing this again.
Okay.
All right. Bird nest evicted, dude. Oh,
there you are.
Are you
okay? You paused for a second.
There we go. Yeah. So there was a massive bird nest on top of the Starlink on the router again, and so I got like the squeegee thing for the pool, and I'm up there and knocked the whole Starlink unit dangled down. So I was concerned that maybe it pulled the power plug out, but the nest falls, and then all I hear is like the sound of eggs breaking as it hit the fucking stones. Oh, so I feel a little bad.
Why
killer
on earth would a bird want to build a nest on a Starlink antenna?
Oh man, it probably would have come out with like 2 heads.
Well, that's the thing.
It's under a soffit though, so it's good protection from the weather and from predators like snakes.
Oh, maybe. Huh.
So here's a story that I never shared on the pod. I meant to. So speaking of birds, I opened the shop door here and I don't know what I was doing, moving some shit around for landscape. And I hear like this really loud chirp, like at the restaurant today that had the bird stuck in. Every time I want to tell a good story.
Oh,
okay. Are we
okay,
back?
You're back now. Yeah, I heard
every
like
time
a
I want to
chirp
tell
at
a
the
good story,
restaurant.
cut out, right? Yeah. So it's really fucking loud, and I look down, and here's this little bird, like no feathers on it, like bare skin, eyeballs closed, on the fucking ground next to the upright for the four posts that the Lincoln's on. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, did he fall? Was he there? Was he not there before? So I like get him in some cardboard, and I put him out front of the shop doors because I know that the family lives above in the soffit. So I'm like, maybe Mama Bird will come and rescue this poor little bastard. So I feel bad because it's hot as Texas is. So, I mean, I think I poured some water on the cardboard so at least it could get its beak, or do whatever birds do with its little tongue. And I'm like, okay, I'll be quiet, whatever. I go into the house and I come out. This little bastard had waddled his way halfway into the driveway, and he's just wailing. Like, this thing is like a crying baby, but crying bird. And like, it's so ugly looking, and I don't like birds, generally speaking, that I almost started feeling sorry for this little bastard. So like, now I take it and I move it over to the Zeroscape in the shade, and I get a cap full of water. It says you're not supposed to give them water or give them any food, but I'm like, this thing's going to turn into Kentucky Fried Chicken out here. So I like pour little drops of water and his mouth, because he's screaming. So the water, and he's drinking it. And I'm like, okay, hopefully mom or dad or whoever is going to come and get this thing. Dude, another hour goes by. At this point, his eyeballs are now open. I'm like, so the poor bastard can see he's in distress, and he's yelling that he's in distress. So we have the willow tree in front of the carport. There's this other weird little evergreen tree. I couldn't tell you what it is. It's half deformed, and it's not the nicest looking thing. But there was an empty bird's nest in there from like last year. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put them in the bird nest. And maybe at least, because I didn't know if maybe mom didn't want to fly down to the ground or whatever it is, or maybe he has a chance of survival. So I put the little bastard in there. Yeah. And he fell asleep because like I had a ladder. I literally had to get up a ladder, and I don't want to touch him, get fucking bird flu or some shit. So like I got gloves on and all this stuff, and I shoo him into this nest and checked on him later that night, and everything was good. But I'm sad to report the next morning when I checked in on him, he didn't make it.
He didn't make it through the night?
No, probably screamed himself to death. So that was my attempt. That's my story. But like, I don't know how to describe like just this ugly little gremlin thing, but then it like almost turned into like a cartoon character that almost seemed cute.
You feel sorry for him.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, when stuff is helpless, like I have a soft spot for animals, minus reptiles. Snakes can go to hell. Yeah, anything that has fur or whatever, I'm down with.
Right.
Birds come out pretty ugly.
Yeah, and the little bastards fucking screw up the Wi-Fi. At least the second half of the pod will be nice and clear.
Yeah. You never know in those situations. Like sometimes, the mom or the dad or whatever just says to hell with you and throws him out.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was because he wasn't growing any feathers. Like, listen, you little weirdo, you got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, birds survive and by numbers. That's why there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too funny. Well, buddy, why don't you tell us a little story on the wild world of Tip?
Yeah. So, geez. Well, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone. Like, obviously, I was helping out at Martin Brothers actually since last year, and maybe about a month ago, we started having kind of some more conversations on content and collaboration and whatnot, because their channel, they were doing, obviously they're transitioning because Motor Trend is no more, and wanted to have a little bit more consistency. And it was like, well, you know, I'm happy to help out. And, you know, Fox Body content at your shop is, in my opinion, way more interesting than Fox Body content at my own.
Right.
And, you know, it's like, who doesn't want to be around like super cool paint and interior and metal fab, and just, man, the opportunity to be next to Joe Martin and just listening to him, you know what I mean? Or, you know, seeing some of the guys work on the fabrication side of things. So needless to say, yeah, I've been quite wrapped up dedicating some time to collaborate over there and get some content, which is, you know, it's a commitment. Like, I'm taking a day out a week, right? Big drive.
Yeah, it's not close to you too. That's worth
no,
mentioning,
it's
right?
not. Like, it is close, but it's not. And it's just something as easy as you leave at the wrong time, or there's an accident, because you got to drive through Austin. So Austin's the wild card. So when you're north and you got to go to the south side, can be challenging. But yeah, so that's been keeping me pretty busy. And then obviously trying to filter through content and, right, be able to put some stuff out, and taking the opportunity, because I guess, well, spoiler for anyone who's, I guess, listening, they are going to be, because everyone keeps asking me, what, you cut the strut towers out of the 93 Cobra, like, what are you putting in there? Well, they're going to be helping me with coming up with some super cool panels in there, and, you know, just kind of doing some cool stuff. And I think it's a really, like I mentioned, it just to be able to be around and have the minds, the expertise, and all the experience, and, you know, at your fingertips, it just makes you think differently. Especially like when we're all kind of, you know, you work in your garage and I work in my garage and Lewis works in his garage, and we kind of get stuck in our ways of doing things. And then you start seeing not only something outside of Fox Bodies, but you see things like the chassis, or you see things that get custom made, and it just kind of, don't get me wrong, like, you can go down the rabbit hole. Like, Lewis is like, I'm going to go there and I'm going to come home with a bunch of bad ideas.
Right.
So, so yeah, man, that's where that's been. And, you know, for anybody who watched Iron Resurrection, you would, you know that the caliber of the work and everything that they do, and just actually did an interview with them and put that up on their YouTube channel the other day. And it was super cool to hear the whole story, because, you know, I know I can speak for myself, and probably you too, Gary, right? It's like everyone sort of, you know, if you got a shop, you kind of dream of having a TV show at some point, or like, how cool would it be to like have your own show and be on TV, and actually hear, you know, his journey, and how, you know, it actually started off on being on Biker Build Off back in the day. But even before that, you know, he was custom fabricating exhaust systems for bikes at home. You know what I mean? He didn't even have product. He put an ad up in a magazine and started getting phone calls, and had to start fulfilling orders, you know, on stuff that he didn't even have.
Remember we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Start slow on the weekends, building it up.
Yeah. And, you know, and then it was the whole motorcycle things, the whole trend and the fad sort of died off. And then it was like, okay, well, we're going to start building cars. And same thing, you know, he says season 1 was completely out of pocket for them. Nobody paid them. Wow. They didn't have customers. They didn't have nothing. It was just, I know a couple guys, and these guys, you know, can help, you know, do this. And some of it's going to be some dude's car that we know here, or car's going to be mine, and whatever. And, you know, so there was still a lot of risk. But the interesting perspective of them having had a show and having gone through all, you know, what's almost that, what the norm was for us, and now it's all social media, is it took a lot to be in a magazine back in the day. And if you made it to a magazine, it's like that was a big fucking deal. And if you made it to TV, which there's only, or whatever, if you only had cable, maybe you had satellite, you had maybe a couple thousand channels at best in total. And now it's like anybody could a digital magazine, or anybody can have a YouTube channel. So it's like you're constantly competing against it. Anybody can do anything at any given time. So I don't know, it's just really interesting, because we know both sides, right? Versus the generation that we keep talking about that kind of suck at life. They only know the one side, like, oh, I'm just going to be an influencer,
Yeah, that is pretty wild to think. I heard an interesting story the other day on Boyd Coddington and Chip Foose. One I wasn't familiar with. I guess maybe it's worth telling just some of the high notes, but like Boyd Coddington Chip Foose worked for Boyd Coddington and got him sort of started. Chip was young. Chip, as he sort of worked himself into the business, there was a weird point in time where they ended up going public with like Boyd Coddington's wheel company or something. And I think the writing was kind of on the wall that like maybe Chip knew a little bit more of how to run things than Boyd did, but Boyd had a bit of an ego. Apparently, I fucking don't know the truth of the matter, but just telling you what I heard. And then Boyd ran out of his own company, and Chip was the takeover man. And apparently it was kind of too far gone, so to speak. And whatever, the Chip just sort of rode the fucking plane into the ground and then started Chip Foose Designs after that. But anyway, the reason that I say all this on the heels of you talking about Joe Martin and his story is it's like, man, I just live to hear people's stories like this, because based on, like you were alluding to, Lewis, and saying like we just kind of talked about this, I like hearing how other people have kind of sidestepped their way through the potholes of life and figured their way through. I mean, it's one of the things I love the most about podcasts is you get a long form situation where you can hear how somebody truly thinks and works their way through certain situations. So, I mean, I didn't know that was on their channel, dude. I'm going to 1,000% jump over there and hear that, because I've always been interested in the backstory of Joe Martin. But, you and I have talked about this off the air, and it's worth saying because I know the two of us feel the exact same way about it. I think anybody that has any sort of like humble sense about them typically thinks like, who the fuck would want to hear my story? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, right? I'm just some fucking guy, and I'm sure Joe, I'm not trying to put myself in the same arena as Joe Martin, but I'm sure Joe feels the same way, where he's just like, no, who wants to hear about me eating craft dinner for 8 years while I got this thing off the ground? And you know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to hear that shit. And we're all going like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, please, dude. So that's a tricky situation to navigate.
Yeah, no, it is, man. And it's cool too, just to see like a longer term established shop. And then it's sort of like us in YouTube, like when we talk to somebody, that's done really well at it or whatever. And it's like, we all always ask the same questions. Doesn't matter if you got 100 subs or 100,000. It's sort of like, you're always wondering about the algorithm and everything. And same thing with the shop. It's like trying to find talent, trying to retain talent. Like, man, there's this one kid there named Dan, huge little BMW kid. Just Lewis is like, man, this kid, like, where do you find this guy? Like, just nonstop hustle and just like filthy. Cause like, he'll be on the ground rolling around, and
he's not afraid to jump on anything. He's 22. He loves what he's doing. he came to there. Joe was saying that he started off just cleaning up around the shop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then now he's there tearing shit up, putting it together, whatever they need done, and he's not afraid to dive in. I was like, man, that's a hustle you don't see very often. I'm not trying to slam anybody, but I see it in our own job, you know?
Yeah.
20-somethings that don't want to do shit.
Yeah. Those talents, I think, if in the right environment, surrounded by the right people, especially the right leadership, like those are talents that you need to look at in a very unselfish manner and be like, okay, listen, pal, kind of like that little bird, Chris. Like, listen, I'm going to give you a little bit of water. Okay. I'm going to set you up here in the birdhouse Airbnb. And like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, listen, you got what it takes. Well, maybe that little fucker didn't. He didn't have any feathers, so he couldn't get out of there to save his own life. But once he's got feathers established, right? You go like, dude, it's time to fly. Like, you have everything that it takes to do this yourself. Like, what the hell are you doing working for me? The world needs more of that, man. I mean, I'm as much of a believer in that as I am. The world needs more, like, air quote artisans. I know that's kind of a goofy name for it, but like, we need more people that are making like the world's best donut. Like, that is way fucking better than going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting the same old cardboard. You know?
Well,
who like Chris? Yeah, like, dude, Chris, we went to that little sweet little spot for a coffee and a breakfast wrap right before we set off for Pitts. Like, how sick is that place? You know, like, just that, I don't know if boutique style is the right word that I'm looking for, but like, just something where you can taste the love in the food or the products they make or the whatever. The world needs way more of that and way less Walmart.
Amazon, Prime, China.
Well, there's a time and a place for all that shit, right? Everybody likes getting whatever body wash in the same fucking 4 hours that you ordered it. Like, that's pretty cool. But I don't know. Beyond that, like, I want to taste the best donut, or at least someone that thinks they got the best donut. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
You know, more breweries.
Well, I guess, you know,
whatever.
Yeah. So, Lewis, when was the last time you were here? End of last year?
Yeah.
So,
well, it wasn't cold here when I came last. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But a lot's changed to the Fox body since you were here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks totally different.
Yeah, so it's like busted apart now. But like now you can like really, in terms of fabrication, it's pretty much done.
Yeah, I seen your post the other day. You said it's kind of time to start assembling, which it sort of roughly has been, but now it's like, okay, everything is in its place. Now we just got to start like Legoing it together.
Yeah, so everything with the exception of the bumpers, which that's going to be super cool to see. But man, like, just looking in that engine bay, the way that like frame rails meet firewall, meet radiator supports, meet
turbo mounts.
Engine mount, turbo mounts. Like, man, Tom, War Admiral would love this thing.
Okay, sorry, I fucked up here. I thought we were talking your 93 Cobra. We're talking the Martin Brothers.
Shit. Yeah.
What was the owner's name again?
Ricky.
Right. Ricky Bobby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, it's awesome. Like, even like, because I hadn't seen it in the form that it was in today, because I actually moved in a different building, so like plumbing's happening now, so it's like brake lines, fuel lines, then the wiring and everything's going to start. And yeah, no, man, like it's next level. It's not even a Fox. Like, it looks like a Fox body, but it's not a Fox body.
It's Fox adjacent.
Yeah.
It's badass. It's definitely artwork there.
Yeah. That's impressive to see. And to think on was that a clean like starter piece, or was it just kind of a meh pace car?
No, it was pretty messed up. I think the roof got replaced,
and where the belt line molding is in the, the one that,
I think, were the doors replaced, doors or door frames or something.
You can tell me if that one.
Yeah, and I think like one of the quarter panels had some damage, but that's on the lower side, but it got rectified when they did the wheel, the flares in the back, and then shaved the gas door off and all that stuff. Like, I think there was something in that back corner that had lightly tapped it. Like, there's definitely a lot cleaner ones to start with, but when you got something that you're cutting the floor out, you're cutting the firewall out,
most of the front clip.
Yeah. Yeah. Radiator support's getting cut out, like all that stuff, that it was probably a reasonable car to start with for the purpose of that build. Yeah.
Man, that could be a very slippery slope in a shop like that. I mean, your ideal client is that sort of person that just, money is in a roundabout way unlimited, because when you have a fabrication shop that is literally capable of creating anything that you can imagine, and then God forbid you give them the magic wand to just go, yeah, like make whatever you think cooler, right? Like, you could get into the fucking inner door frame and start fabricating shit. It's like, well, if the guy ever takes a side impact, we're going to need a little more bracing, and we may as well put some fucking speed holes in there, and we're going to like French this and fucking twist that. Like, that could be an absolute rabbit hole that never ends.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, and I asked Joe this in the interview of, sort of what's the most expensive car that you built, and it was pretty much cresting the $1 million mark. And then I followed up with, well, how much would that build have cost pre-COVID? Because he was almost like $1 million sounds like a lot, right? But he's like, no, it's a really good point, because the cost of products and labor costs and everything else. And he pretty much came out to say that pre-COVID, it would have been half, if not less.
Oh, wow.
So, and we all see it. I mean, like, if anybody's tried to build
labor rates alone.
Yeah.
For everything.
Like, everything, labor used to be $50. Like, you could find $50 an hour, $80 an hour, within reason 10 years ago. And now, like, you're lucky to find 100. Yeah. So, you factor all those things in. We already know what the cost of parts look like. Like, shit, just rebuild a small block with an HCI setup, and you're 10 grand. So I think to be able to do those builds in this day and age, like, man, you got to almost have like some fuck you money, let alone a magic wand. And
we need some KASL Customs money.
Yeah.
Jeepers.
That green dragon must blow out hundreds from the tailpipes.
I wish it did. Jesus. I had somebody ask me the other day what I think I've got tied up into that car as far as money's concerned. And I know the two of you sitting here having this conversation with me will feel the exact same way. It's like, it is impossible to even guess. Is that the Ogopogo you're showing me?
I meant to send you that. It was one of those paddle boat things you rented, and it's a green dragon. I'm like, oh, look, there goes Gary.
But it is a dragon.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Just
dude,
before we go,
I was gonna say, like, your money into your car, I'm sure you could kind of like round it off to a certain extent, and then add like double it, because you'd probably forgot that many things.
Well, and there's so many different ways of cutting that pie, because if you I mean, the easy one would be to sit here over a few beers and go like, oh yeah, I remember buying that, and I remember buying this, and this is how much it cost at the time. And that's another thing, right? Like the Cobra lower that's on that. I mean, the Cobra upper is over on the shelf because it's been replaced by the blower, but like that upper and lower was $750, brand new. Ford Motorsport box. I still have the box. You know what I mean? You can't find a half decent, Cobra upper and lower real one for 1,500, $2,000, So there's that side of it. But I mean, the one that I think would like blow your mind the most is if you started factoring in time.
Yeah.
Especially when you start factoring in like, which I don't know. I mean, everybody's got a different definition of this, but like, let's just hypothetically use like Joe Martin, right? Who, I don't know what Joe would bill himself out at. He seems like a humble guy. He probably bills himself out at like $40 an hour. But a guy like that, that's worth all of $250 plus an hour, to have him just sit there and stare at Ricky's car and go like, yeah, no, maybe a little this, maybe a little that, whatever. What's that worth? Or what is, like whatever, running into a problem that there's no real immediate solution to, and you got to like go into the wee hours of the morning trying to figure it out. Like, what's that worth? And the amount of fucking time in that piece of shit over my shoulder that falls into that category would make you want to throw up.
And what's the labor rate?
That's the thing, right? Well, like, what do you,
dude, we did it on the ship box. Because remember, we popped out a labor rate.
Hold on. You guys did it on the ship box because neither one of you were keeping it. It was eventually going to be sold or auctioned.
No, but that was the interesting thing, though, because we did it at.
My point, though, is on the green thing there, he can only do that. Like, that's a car that he built it for him, not to sell. So he would take twice as long on his own car trying to chase down every last gremlin or speck of dust that got on something. You know what I mean? It's a little different. Not
even if it was $20 an hour. Yeah. It is my point of like.
But was he doing it when he had the salesman job and he was there tinkering with his car on the side? So that was for fun, right? It wasn't charging money. So look at the context.
Well, okay, I'm actually going to
$1 million. So there's that.
Well, it's because it's clearly worth 3.5.
I've never turned down $1 million. I would turn down $1 million. Let's just put that out there. Well, here, like, to maybe bring things into like current day perspective on some of this shit. Just before we got on the pod, actually, I'm dropping this car down on the 2-post hoist. That was about the time you texted me, Chris, said, hey, we're ready. I'm like, hey, give me 15. And on the way down, I'm staring at like fender to door, like that pinch weld crossover area, right? Where like the front fender well covers up that bottom fender bolt and everything. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I've never noticed this before. And I've had this car up and down 100 times, right? Anyway, I look, I'm like, oh, that doesn't even look like the right screw in there. And then I go to pull that screw out and just find a fucking it's a disaster behind there, right? Like someone's tried lifting on that poor corner of the car. Here I am, right? Crescent Ranch. I'm going through. Anybody that does this as much as we do has a Fox body drawer of fucking screws that you can, access at any given time. I'm in the Fox body drawer trying to find the right screws to, bring that wheel well into place and straighten everything out. I didn't bill that guy for that. You know what I mean? And so I guess where I'm going with all this is like, I don't know how you would ever come up with a number. I really, truly don't.
So here's the question.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
If you were to, how much do you think it would cost you to rebuild your Green Dragon today?
See, man, I don't know. It's going to sound like a bit of a cop-out, but like,
oh, hey, hold on. I got it.
Yeah.
You already know what you paid for the yellow thing. Let's say you're recreating the green car with that yellow one.
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
No, he's going to go buy another clean, like same quality paint.
Scratch.
No, but
yellow car ain't clean.
No, it's got to be with what he started with. So he's got to find
another 92,
a 90 emerald green that is kind of what he started with.
In today's dollars,
and then find a xenon kit to put on it. Airride, Kenny Bell, the Recaros, all that. Just take your labor out of it. What do you think it'd be in today's market?
And you said labor out?
Labor out.
And this number has to include the value of the car to buy it?
Yep. Someone says, I want a twin of the Green Dragon.
You're building a clone. Wheels, brakes, suspension, interior.
No labor.
No labor.
Does he have to paint it?
Well, we hope he finds. Well, that's one thing. He could either find a clean notch and pay for paint, or he can find one that the paint's already good. So obviously, one car is probably going to be like 20, one's going to be 50.
But a good paint job's 20.
Yes, and it's going to be 40 plus the trim plus new lights plus if he pays for the $20,000. So I just did half that for you here.
The thing that scares me about this the most is I'm like, fuck, I'm like imagining myself having to like, no matter what, come true on this final bill. Like, so no matter how much time it takes me and how much fucking around I got to go through.
This isn't an official quote. Don't worry.
Well, I'm feeling like it is.
Yeah, we'll catch it in within 30 days.
Right.
Yeah, if it's low, I'm ordering one.
Yeah.
Well, the number, okay, so the first number that comes to mind, which is usually, probably where it should be, was 50 grand.
Including the car.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, I'll buy two.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
Well,
man, you might.
Shit, boys. Okay, just at a high level, if we're just talking parts,
is that
right?
Canadian dollars too? I'll buy 3.
Well, that's why I didn't want to bite on anything. I'm like, fuck, 50, 75, I don't know, right? 60. Well, I mean, if you're just looking parts, right? You can buy a brand new Kenny Bell for what? Like $5,500 or something, $5,400. Cobra brakes. I mean, what are those going to run you? $1,800 ish. Cobra lower, AFR heads. I don't know. Let's say you're $3,000 there. Hell, I honed the block myself, so that's all labor. Well, I bought a $150 ball hone from Summit, but bearings are cheap. Fuck, it's not like it's got some exotic exhaust on it. Shitty BBK long tubes, BBK 8 off-road age.
That's still $1,500 an exhaust, dude.
No, it's true, but I mean, I would think you could probably find.
We're not talking Craigslist pricing here. This is like you're going to the catalog and ordering all the shit new.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, maybe I'm like a little low, but like I don't know. That car's probably a $30,000 car in like clean, unmolested format. Am I off on that?
25 on the car, 55 on the blower. You're already at 35. I mean, 35 at 30,000 right there, and that's building up from there. I don't know what you paid for the seats, but the Recaros aren't cheap. It's not like
air ride, air management, wheels and tires.
Yeah, that stuff wasn't obscene.
Stereo, brand new headlights, brand new tail lights, quarter windows.
Well, you would hold on at $25,000. I'm hoping the car has nice tail lights and headlights.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same. My quarter windows are far from perfect. I don't know.
And then how much labor to put it together?
Well, that's the thing. That's where it gets greasy. Right? Because I mean, there's been a lot of sleepless nights with this old pig. But like going back to what I was saying about like fixing that pinch weld before we got on. I mean, I don't know. I was fixing some Fox body floor crackage the other day in that car, and lifted Well, pulled the seats out, folded the carpet towards the console because this stuff's on the outer ends of the floor pan kind of thing. And knowing full well I'm going to be heating the floor up. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be down here going, what's that burning smell? Right. So anyway, carpets, yeah, carpets up. And as I was finishing all this up, seam sealed it up, putting the carpet back down, I'm looking at the glove box and I'm like, that fucking release handle that always goes before like the whole door of the glove box and everything, right? That thing fades first all the time. I'm like,
Especially
I can't get this. Oh, well, this one's porno red, so it was like rust orange, the fucking flipper handle. I'm like, there's no way I can give this car back to the guy like that. None. And it's only going to take me, I mean, if you factored in like a coat here, 5-minute flash time, coat there, whatever, maybe it's going to take me like 15, 20 minutes, but I'm going to have that handle out, taken apart and ready for paint in 4 minutes. And I'm just like, you know, I'm not even going to bring it up to the guy either. I'm just going to let him drive down the road and go, something off about that, you know, glove box area, right? Like, I don't remember it looking like that. So I guess where I'm going with all this is like, maybe I'm a dipshit for not charging for stuff like that, but it's like, I don't know, man. I love these stupid old cars so fucking much that I'm like, this is so simple for me to do. It takes nothing. I got a can of porno red in the cabinet and I'm already, you know, doing this massive dick around trying to fix his cracked floors. You know, it's like, while I'm in here, right? May as well.
And while I'm there.
Well, which is a dangerous thing, but I guess to bring that back to the Green Dragon, like it's really hard for me because I would probably want to legitimately add all those stupid little nuanced things up.
Body kit and paint.
Oh yeah. Body kit and paint.
Actually, boys, I haven't said a whole lot about this shit. I mean, Chris, we talk enough and I haven't even mentioned it to you, but I'm thinking about splashing the bottom half with some paint.
That's fair. Like, technically, it was splashed anyways, so all you're doing is touching up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pull the body kit off and do that, or are you gonna do it on the car?
Yeah. Pull the body kit. Get rid of all the Canadian rock guard, and this is all kind of revolving around this like next level of. I'll admit, I know I'm throwing shit at the wall here and hoping it sticks, but getting some more heat out from underneath that hood. It all revolves around doing a different hood. And I'm like, well, if I'm painting that, fuck it. I may as well just go all in because every time I put this thing up in the air, it drives me crazy. Yeah. I've had
you bring that right into eye level.
Oh, dude. The body kit's one green. The fucking rock guard's another green. The rest of the car is another green. It's just like a mess of greens. I mean, the like lower half of the door, which is the only section of like Canadian rock guard area that you see, it's purple. It's more fucking purple than green. It drives me wild. And building off of that, I'm like, I am not the type of guy. I've got way too many mental issues to have like a War Admiral paint job. I would not be able to function with a car like that at all. So I need this thing to maintain its bumps, bruises, and quirky shit. But that bottom half, I got to fix. So, yeah, I don't know. Thinking about it.
Well, when in Rome.
75.
Yeah. Well, and I've got a fella that I've had recommended to me who was everybody's sort of go-to paint guy when he was full-time painting, and he's since gone the paint sales route and does a little bit of stuff on the side. So I'm like, well, I wonder how I could work this in to, you know, him maybe doing this for me. And actually I got to looking, and you can buy blow up paint booths for like $500.
Yep.
And I'm going like, No shit. Like, and they're nothing more than what you would rent.
It looks like a giant bounce house.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's nothing more than a kid's bouncy castle.
All you want to make sure is that you have redundant blowers, so that if one blower stops, and you want to make sure you have backup power, or you have like hoops that if for whatever reason it deflates on you, it's not going to land on the car. But
good point.
Yeah. So
never even thought of that.
So Shop Dad got one, and actually I used it on that Dutch test mule car. And the only complaint that I would have is it gets really hot. Like, because just even though some of them are good, like his has even its own little separate room for like you can mix paint in like the front half portion of it. But there's like really nice ones. So Spike, who has my 4i, he paints in an inflatable that's like it's blown up most of the time, but like his is like 10 grand. So it's got like actual proper like fan systems and filtration and stuff like that. But like, dude, if you're just painting the odd thing, those $500 booths work great.
I couldn't come up with too many like reasons as to why you wouldn't take a stab at that. And I mean, to think about, well, here, let's get into the accounting of all this again. I'm like, well, let's say this fella did have a body shop that's 45 minutes or an hour away, right? And I'm probably trailering it there so I can get my ass home. Wouldn't make any sense for me to drive there, get the wife pick me up, all that stuff. So there's time, and that equates to dollars, right? Whether you like it or not, that'd be factored into that. So I'm starting to run the math on it all, and I'm like, man, like this $500 actually looks like pretty good money spent when you think about it. And so like you say,
you thinking of shooting this yourself?
No.
Okay.
I mean, put it this way, dude, I would love nothing more than to spend some time dicking around with that. I've always thought of myself as pretty dangerous with a rattle can. But
hey, you did really good in the wiper cowl area, man.
I did do it.
Oh, right?
Same thing. Looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I always thought of myself as that, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. It's kind of like TIG welding. Remember I was telling you I was fucking around with it over Christmas when I had a little bit of time? Like, those things that take that extra little level of focus and care, I always enjoy doing. It's just like, that's not something you want to just go, yep, I'm going to paint this. You do that on the shit box.
Yeah.
You don't do that on, something that means something to you. Or you start with a small panel, right? Let's maybe do the mirrors. Right? We'll blow those in.
The thing about paint, though, is I find more often than not, when you really care, and it doesn't really matter, it's like how much experience you have. When you care, something goes wrong. And it could be solvent pop happens, or like a bug, or contamination in a line, or some bullshit. And then when you literally give zero fucks, you're spraying outside. Like, dude, think of the conditions I sprayed the Dutch lower valance in that we drove cross country that Jay bought. Like the compressor,
we left.
I had to let the compressor like go, and I could spray like a little 12-inch section at a time, like open air gravel driveway outside, and the thing turned out beauty. Now, if I actually had to do something that, like a hood or something that's like not down in the lower part of the car, I would have got messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, in the hood scares the shit out of me for obvious reasons.
Man, because it's almost like you're just blend into the fenders while you're there, and that's the problem, because you're going to blend in and you're like, oh, well, I'm pretty close to the door moldings
while I'm here.
Shit, maybe I should just blow those doors in. And
metallic is funny about how it lays down. If you're going to do it yourself, see if you can get Darren to spend some time with you talking about it.
I can't remember. How close did your deck lid come out when your buddy sprayed it?
I mean, this is going to sound pretentious because it's my car, but like bang on. I mean, my buddy hit a home run.
Fly him down.
Yeah.
I know, right? Well, and I thought about going down this road before we came down here because the guy is a wizard, right? But I was like, fuck, it's going to kill me to ship a hood all the way up to Canada, right? Like freight alone in the States is like $200+. So I'm like,
there, Iowa's not that far.
Well, it actually even crossed my mind. I like a bunch of guys have crossed my mind. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, maybe I reach out to Angel, right? Down in Florida. He'd be fun to hang out with for a weekend. You know, like, yeah, take her up to Hunts in Detroit. You know, I'm kind of considering going there for Motor City. Like, anyway, a lot of things have gone through my mind, but I don't know. It's always nice to keep your car where you want it and not have to take it anywhere, right? And yeah, if you had a little $500 blow up booth that you wanted to blast a handful of nonchalant parts in, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that thing would probably get moldy sitting on my shelf.
So have you bought said hood?
No, but I think I've got her narrowed down.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been through a few different ideas and iterations, but the one that I think I want to go with is it's the 2-inch cowl hood. It's not like 2-inch right off the nose. It kind of slopes into a sort of a nonchalant 2-inch, and then the Celine louvers on the sides, or like the scallops or fins or whatever you want to call it.
Which hood? Like manufacturer?
I don't remember the name of it. It's a steel hood. Okay. NPD is the best bang for your buck. If anyone out there's considering looking at this thing or whatever, yeah, it's like $550.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've since.
No, Bob's hood is stock steel, and then it's got the built-in louvers on the sides of the, where, you know, what would be the rise section.
Yeah,
they're on the sides like that.
Okay.
So it's sort of heat extract, like it would, the heat would come around your strut tower and out from the.
Okay.
That sounds familiar, but you said the rise, like.
Yeah, not in the center. It's off on the sides.
Okay, this one is too. Yeah, this one's on either side of the. Yeah, either side of the rise.
But you're talking about on the rise or on the flat place? On the flat
place.
Yeah, that's where Bob's is. So in essence, where your strut towers are, like almost right behind it, the louvers are there, and they're like stamped in, so it's not like a plate that was welded on or anything like that.
Yep, that's the hood.
Yeah. But not
no cowl.
No cowl. It's just stock height.
Oh.
I thought about getting one of those. I like it. I actually told him he should sell it to me, but well, yeah, I like without having a cowl hood.
I could be wrong here on this, boys, but I want to say that is the Celine. That's where the whole idea of this hood came from.
Oh, like the SA hood or whatever, right?
Yeah, I don't think there was any more of a cowl than what stock is, and it just had those kind of scalloped fins on either side of it.
Yes.
Oh, so, makes sense, man.
Yeah, kind of subtle, but like I say, man, it all sort of revolved around that idea, and a hood is definitely not something that I want to start out painting. And then I'm like, well, while we're in here, right, may as well doctor the rest of this shit up. I mean, dude, I've told you 100 times, like, that body kit went on when I was 18. You know what I mean? Like, it was just fucking lick it, stick it, and let's go cruising.
Oh, well, it's funny, man, because like even my white notch, I have the stock hood for that car. Actually, a good friend of mine. Well, you met Jake up in Canada there, and so he was using it as like a whiteboard on his wall. So if I could get that hood back, I always consider putting it back on the car. And same thing, repainting the moldings down because there's just so much stone chips and, you know, witness marks, if you will. And kind of same thing though, right? It's got all that white ice pearl in it, and it's like, man, is it going to match? Is it going to replicate? Is it going to turn in? There's a couple of the stupid Audi dents in the fenders drive me nuts from those inner fenders, and I'm like, and it just like, might as well just paint the whole damn car. And that's what I do when I was younger. Like, that car did get painted 2 times. Stalker Vert got painted 3, 4 times, you know, but like paint was cheap back then. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? You could pay $500 in materials in a weekend and it was sprayed. But like,
I sent you the hood, by the way.
Okay. See if this is the one. I bet it is. It sounds exactly like the one you're oh yeah, totally. So yeah, the one I'm looking at just has a little bit of a 2-inch cowl. But it's sort of a neat cowl in that it doesn't look like a 1/4 mile cowl, in that it starts out very low profile, kind of like the stock, and then it slopes up gradually. Versus,
I think with your color too, like, just, I mean, like if you had a white car or like a light color car, like I'm just even envisioning a 2-inch sticking up on that banana behind you, and it's just like, no. But I think with the darker color, and actually, which one of my lip spoilers did you get?
I believe it's the bigger ducktail. It's the step up, like much like a cowl would be.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, if you put that on, it would, like, you'd get the front, and then the back could finish it off with your side profile.
Yeah. Agreed. I know I've always wondered what a bit of a cowl on this car would look like. I in a roundabout way think, for like the big picture vision that I always had for the car, it may be missing that piece. Like, I think if I do it, I'm going to go like, yep, that was supposed to be there, kind of thing.
Well, hey, it's not like you're changing the color of the car and won't have the stock hood to put back on. Like, you might not serve or solve the heat issues, but if you don't like the look, you have the fallback.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? Speaking of heat issues, I had a call with a guy the other day that has the new Kenny Bell, the brand new reimagined unit. And I was picking his brain a bit on his heat and how he deals with it. And he's actually in the Tennessee area. And come to find out, the one thing I didn't ask him, which I wish I did, was how many pounds of boost, like what's that whole story look like for him. So I don't know that, but I have a feeling that it's probably on the kind of milder side of things. Let's say 8-10 pounds of boost kind of thing, right? So, or maybe even lower than that. Let's say 5 to 8.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he's hovering around the same temps that I am. I'm like, no shit. Because I'm like, and he's got a cowl, which was another question I had for him. I'm like, this is sort of my next, let's throw some shit at the wall and see if we can solve this heat problem. And he's like, well, in all honesty, he goes, I probably could, and I'm thinking about opening up the cowl area, the style of hood he has. It's kind of a, like, not much heat extraction going on in that area, but he thinks that he can, hey, who is that? Laura, what's up, girl?
Oh boy, it's my wife, my daughter, and his wife.
We spent $300 on dinner.
Holy fuck! I need another job.
$200 is free.
Oh shit! Oh, they reviewed it. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mama pulled out the credit card, huh?
Yeah, they're having a good time.
Shit. I was kind of looking past the laptop screen when that was all going on. I'm like, what the fuck is on top of Chris's head?
Mine's hovering on this side now.
Yeah.
Hi, Brett.
We introduced Mexican martinis to Laura.
Oh, yeah, the girls are getting after it. Well, if you're hanging out in the shop, you guys must be really heavy into it.
We're going to go get back into it. Get into the car, he goes.
The nice. Lights are going to be on. I can see it already.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, this fella is dealing with heat issues, has a cowl hood, thinks that it could do some more extracting for him, but he's like, yeah, man, I'm like all a 195, 200. And so my next question for him was, I said, okay, electric fans? Yeah. Good ones? Yeah. I said, so as you're out, buzzing around doing your thing, I'm like, let's say you get stuck in traffic or, you pull in somewhere and you just let the car run. I'm like, will your car like cool itself down to like 180, 185? Oh yeah, instantly. I'm like, fuck me too. But I'm like, I can take that car out and just pussyfoot it, like 1500 RPM shifts, 200 now. And he goes, I'm in the same boat. He's like, and the fear in the back of my mind, which I share with him, is God forbid you got after it real heavy, like, and now where are you sitting? Like 220 quick? Or what's that look like?
Yeah. Well, the good
in theory, you would be.
If you get stuck in traffic, you're okay.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, it's not like the cooling system isn't doing its job. It's just you instantaneously get into that danger zone of like, and again, it's not danger zone, but you're on the edge of it. And in the back of your mind, you're just staring at that temp gauge going like, ugh, 5 or 10 more degrees and I'm going to be pulling over.
So then what the fuck's a meth kit doing if you're overheating?
I don't know if it's doing anything, dude. Fuck, it just sounds cool to talk about over beers. My fucking gauge doesn't work that I put all this goddamn time into to try to read my intake air temps. I don't even know if it's fucking doing anything.
Well, you're going through the juice though.
Not anymore. I solved that, okay. Dude. I put a solenoid in.
All right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So were the temps as hot when you were drinking it?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
That's why I was like, what the hell is it doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that I've got the seal issue, that I discovered fixed and it's summertime, I'll try to put some more miles on the car and let you know if I experience any of those heat issues because I haven't yet.
Yeah. I mean, buddy, there's something about this story that leaves me kind of going like, because, okay, now I've got that LMR Dakota Digital reimagined, like Fox Body dash, and it's got the ability to read, well, it'll read kind of analog like in the temp gauge, but it'll also read in like digits in the little message board. Now, it's not as if one reads lower or higher than the other. I mean, the actual analog one gets up towards like N, right? We're no longer normal. We're getting into like, oh shit point. Plus, I'm an idiot and I put the fucking digital one on the little message board. So I'm watching this thing 191, 192, 3, 4, 99, 200. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Right? What I'm curious about is, like, say I take the vert out, which is bone stock other than exhaust. That fucking thing blowing ice cold on a 95 plus degree day barely sees the bottom notch of the temperature gauge. Like barely. It's like, fuck, are you going to warm up and get to operating temp car? Nope. I just like operating right here, and that's mechanical fan, OEM rad from 91, pulling through a condenser on max AC. And I can't barely. Yeah, right. Like, it just, the deck is stacked against that car in so many ways. And that thing runs ice cold.
Yeah, I got a dumb question. Under the front of the rad support is that black plastic thing that's vertical. You have that, right?
I got that. I got the side ones, dude. I got the fucking rubber, rad to rad support funnels, everything's
everything
in there.
Funnel the air up.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a weird one. And now I've mentioned this before, but while we're on the topic, it's maybe worth saying again. That car in heads cam and intake format with a mechanical fan or clutch fan setup, at any sort of like speed, let's say beyond 25 mile an hour, would run right where it would stock. The instant you got that car stopped or in traffic, bang, climbing. Now that all logically makes sense, right? This, however, is a whole nother animal. I mean, those Spall fans will fucking near put you on your heels if you're standing behind them. Like, they move air. We're you know, and I'm trying to think now. I definitely did. I think there's a 93 Cobra or whatever, like the smaller water pump pulley on it too. So I'm overspinning that water pump. Like, it's not like we're not moving fluid. I don't know. Brand new rad.
How old's your radiator?
Brand new.
Did you say it was? It was new. I'm thinking what happened in the stock revert where the bottom half was cold. It was clogged.
Well, you know what?
And he's Canadian and well water and all that shit.
Dude, have you ever done a leak down test?
I think you got that head gasket.
No.
He was here for neighbor John's car. Did not blow smoke, had no signs or whatever. You would start driving that car, it'd fucking overheat. You would stop, you would let it idle, the temp would go back down.
Blown head gasket.
And it was head gasket, the smallest little, and it was we did compressed air into the cylinders.
I made a video.
Yeah, it was on the video, right? And it did take a while.
Yeah, it took a bit.
Yeah, and then finally it would just started gurgling into the overflow. And I forget what it was, cylinder 3 or 4, I think.
It was on the passenger side.
Yeah.
See, and I mean,
and you're leaking a little bit of coolant back there too.
I know. Don't bring that up.
Gasket denial.
Well, he's blowing his budget on paint work. We can't get him into motor work now.
Yeah.
It doesn't run hot.
Yeah. You know what though? Like, I look at that whole situation and I think to myself, if I was going to go to all the trouble of changing head gaskets in this little original bottom end 5-liter, I think at that point I'd just say, fuck it. I mean, this thing's lived its life. Let's move on to the next chapter. Like, honestly, you know, if you look at all this logically, you guys got, I can't hear you anymore, boys. Can you hear me?
While it's sitting on the stand, you do the head gasket and drop the motor in the yellow car.
Right. Okay. Sorry, ladies and gents. We're all kinds of technical issues tonight. But yeah, like Lewis was saying, you know, pull the motor and start fresh with some sort of new pathway. But this made me think while we were going through our little technical pause there. I actually had a conversation with the fella that owns the white coupe here recently because, I mean, Chris, I know you'll know this, Lewis, you too, and I mean, anybody out there that's fucked around with these cars, and it's like, it's a good thing, which I always say, you know, like, spend time around your car because things will come to you. You'll notice things. It'll make you that much more comfortable when you're out taking a long trip in the car with the family or whatever. Spend time around them. But the bad side of this is spending time around them means you're going to find more shit that probably needs tending to, or at least you're going to tell yourself that it needs tending to. And a good and they're old. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's kind of the obvious thing that's going to happen. So, this white coupe, the fella starts ordering parts for it. And upon my initial inspection of it all, I said, listen, this thing very slightly marks its territory, but I mean very slightly. Let's say it's going to mark its territory twice a month if you're driving this thing every Sunday kind of thing, right? So in my opinion, probably not worth paying me, which I don't know, maybe this is my piss poor business advice, but I'm like, let's not worry about that. Okay. And my justification to why I don't think we should worry about that is you're going to spend a lot of fucking money here fixing gaskets, and it's not going to be any funner to drive. It's just going to make you feel better.
Given the track record of new gaskets, it might mark its damn territory anyways. Maybe that once too. A week instead of once a month.
Yeah, that too, right? And yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just building myself a bit of an insurance policy here around this, right? Because it's like, it is in a lot of cases a crapshoot. You can do everything right, and then a little drip, right? And you're like, fuck. And as the person that paid someone else to do that, you're going like, I just spent all this money and I got a drip. Like it's psychologically not a good place for anyone to be, right? But anyway, but he's going, well, listen, I'm kind of looking at this from a little bit of a different perspective in that I've taken a lot of time and effort to get this car to you because it's not from Tennessee. Like, I kind of want to get the most bang for my buck. And I'm like, I totally understand that. I get it, but I'm just like, dude, like you said, Lewis, there's no guarantees. I can give you like probably a 96%, but there's no 100s guarantee that this is going to fix everything. And I'm like, not only that, right now we're thinking this could be water pump. Okay. And some of the other things, not to bore you with all the bullshit, but like this car had its smog pump that he wanted to get rid of, wanted to put headers on it, full exhaust. Trying to think now. Oh, at the time that I was pulling a lot of this stuff off, I was thinking we were going to change the water pump. Well, anyway, you get to a point, you kind of spun the can off or the lid off the can, and you're going like, ooh, maybe this is timing cover. Wait a minute. Is that coming from the thermostat? Oh shit. This could be coming from like the front China wall of the intake. I'm going like, okay, we've seen too much here. Like, we need to unsee a lot of this now, right? And all this is like the slightest little, seems really funny to try to define drips, you know what I mean? Or like swelling of water. This is like on the fucking front corner of the oil pan. I'm like, is that green? I think it's green. It might be green, but behind all that, all we're looking at is just a little bit of a sweaty, it's kind of consumed some dirt over the years, messy front area. And I'm going like, fuck, man. Here's the thing. You got this water pump sitting here, which I don't even think is the problem. But if we're going to pull the water pump off, we may as well put this other one on. There's no sense putting the old one back on, right? And that bolt kit that you sent and all this shit. And then I'm like, okay, I think it might be timing cover related. We're going to pull that timing cover off, and I'm going to go, chain's a little stretched. Maybe we should put a timing set on it, right? And then I'm going to call you and go, you know what? Do you like, while the timing sets off, should we pull this bump stick out of here? Right? This is this fucking mess of like,
how is the rubber on the balancer?
I didn't even look, probably because I didn't want to.
He was already calling him on everything else. He must have drew the line there.
Well, no, but this is the thing, man. I mean, maybe I'm my own worst enemy. I just think like, shit, this guy is trusting me to like be his eyes and ears and apply, the knowledge that you've gained over the years. I'm telling him all this and I'm going like, fuck, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. No, like I have to. But now we're in this like back and forth of like, listen, bud, let's not open this can of worms. I really, truly don't think that it's worth it. And it wasn't until we got to a point in the conversation where I'm like, listen, if this was my car, I would not fuck with any of this at all. Okay. The only way that I would is if I had a cam and a set of heads and all this shit laid out on the fucking bench that was going to actually justify all of my time and effort just to change $4 worth of gaskets. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, the thing is, well, to your point too, right? Let's say you do all that work and 2 months go by, and then he's like, oh man, I need more power out of this thing. Let's do a cam heads intake. It's like, well, dude, I had all this shit ripped off already.
Yeah, but it's a repeat customer. Gary's
yeah, but
say, okay. Now at least he knows when he takes all that shit apart, the bolts aren't frozen.
Yeah, but
you don't want to cross bridges multiple times. You know what I mean? And I just look at this like, I don't know. I mean, sure, it'd be really nice to have like a watertight small block Ford, right? But we all know that that's like pretty much impossible. And so it's just like, listen, I can't even guarantee you that all of this is going to do what we're intending it to do. And is this going to make you feel any better or give you more enjoyment from this car driving down the road? Because let's be honest, you didn't even know that any of this stuff was going on until I pulled the fan and the shroud and all this other shit. Like, nobody knew and everything was fine. Right? I don't know. It's you can't unsee shit, right? Like, you can't unsuck a dick is probably the best way of saying it.
Never tried it. Take your word for it.
Just saying, like, that's the reality of this stuff. And I'm like, man, if this thing was puking its guts out, that's a whole nother spectrum, right? Now
does it run hot?
No, ice cold.
So everything's working as it should.
Well, I guess how we even got into this whole debacle of words is my piece of shit, which I probably do think has a bad head gasket in it. Because when you backtrack and investigate like how this whole Kenny Bell adventure unfolded, I didn't realize until that thing was on the dyno that we were throwing like 18 plus pounds of boost at it. And it's not like after I put it on there, I went out and beat the shit out of it, but might have revved it up a couple times. I might have, done a little this, little that. And then we ran it on the dyno for 6 hours before we finally started getting some data on it. And we were going like, holy fuck. Like, we weren't even looking at the right set of goalposts. Like, we were thinking this thing was going to be somewhere between 6 and 8 pounds of boost, and we're in the wrong spectrum. We're not even talking the same language here. And here we've been beating on it, watching the hood shake and the fucking car shut off for the last 7 hours. We probably cooked a head gasket in it.
Possible. Very possible.
Very possible.
But you know what? Don't look at it. Just put a hood on it.
Dude, I am not going to suck that dick. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not sucking that dick.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm just going to keep telling myself that it runs hot and just keep enjoying it, whatever, 10 or 15 miles every time we take it to a car show.
Or you can just throw some repair a head gasket in it and call it a day.
Oh, shit. That stuff, hey? The old off-the-shelf mechanic? Oof.
Hey, it got Steve Buck's car from Florida all the way back to Canada.
Yeah, they poured that shit in there.
Because they drove to Foxtoberfest. His head gasket was bad when they left. And it like kept puking its guts. And even though it puked to get to Foxtoberfest, they still drove that motherfucker to Florida. And then in Florida, I think things were getting really bad. And some mechanic shop gave them the fucking liquid head gasket. Poured it in, they went down to the Keys, cruised all the way there, and drove that thing all the way back to Peterborough.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, after a can or a bottle of that shit, like, that's hot tank and sandblast. Like, you're
that's what you said that motor was good for. If it's gonna go, that's it. It's gone. It's not going back.
I'm wondering if he pours a bottle of that shit in there, if it suddenly starts running cooler.
Well, and there's no more leak.
Again, boys, no dicks in this mouth. I'm not doing it. Yeah, fuck that. But I don't know. I do enjoy this conversation surrounding a lot of this stuff because, you know, Chris, like we've kicked this around so many times, like how the magazines, as much as we love them, did so many people a disservice, right? Like, I need the full Maximum Motorsports catalog thrown at this car, and then, man, why does this car ride like a fucking locomotive? You know, it's like, well, you turned it into a race car, and you didn't need a race car. You know,
some guy messages me today, man. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got the Viking coilover kit with some strange adjustable coilovers and these 175-pound springs. Like, you think it'll be okay for the street?" I'm like, nothing of what you just said is good for the street.
Yeah, you just want a steamroller.
Put 50-pound springs in. It's still not going to be good for the street.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to see what that's like, go down to your local Yardworks rental and drive a Bobcat around the parking lot and make sure you bounce it over some curbs. And that's exactly what it's going to feel like driving your car.
Oh.
Yeah, not good, man. But I get it. I mean, you know, if you're maybe you don't have the tools or the space or even the mechanical know-how, and that type of stuff would get in your kitchen, right? And it's like, well, and again, it gets into this like weird psychological exercise of like, what's your definition of a leak, right? Because I mean, I know to me and you, I've been around your shop enough, and you got cars parked underneath cars, and they're marking the other cars in a lot of cases, right? And I mean, this is nothing against the cars that are doing that. Like, and anyone that knows these cars knows where I'm coming from. Like, this is just kind of like the nature of the beast, you know? Like, you can pay me to put a rear main seal in your car, but like, I don't know, we're kind of crossing our fingers, in all honesty. I'm going to do everything by the book, but right? It's just what it is, dealing with small block shit. And I don't know, I just, especially these days, you know what I mean? Like, and anyone that's getting into these cars at this point in life wants to have something that they're imagining in their mind that they saw in high school. And for all we know, they saw a car with a set of gears and a set of Flowmaster 40s on it. But that's not really that much fun anymore, because your average fucking minivan's got 400 horsepower. And you just went to, you know, the local grocery store in your 400 horsepower minivan, and then you get in your Fox, you're like, this thing's a dog, right? But it's got a brand new set of gaskets in it. Well, that doesn't make you go any quicker or make it that cool, right?
So, save the money on the gasket, throw a set of gears in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Then it feels faster.
Yes. You know,
some of that leaking
I don't
oil
know.
will help you spin the tires.
And I just, I can't sleep at night knowing that, you know, it's like, I don't know. Let's say you do have like a real bad rear main gasket, but you're going to spend money on new headlight bulbs instead of buying that rear main gasket and putting 8 hours into pulling your transmission. It's like, just fix the leak. But these leaks aren't bad, right? I mean, my Vert looks great at 10 feet and or driving by and all that shit. But I mean, that old girl, I mean, you pop the hood, it ain't pretty, you know? She's got 96,000 miles on her. I mean, it's probably a lot of what's keeping the fluid in that motor is the dirt and sludge and shit that's conglomerated around it. You know, like, don't open your hood and hit it with a pressure washer. You're going to have leaks forever. But
it's funny you say that. I had a buddy back in Miami that had a Cabernet hatch, and he bought it new, gears and nitrous and exhaust. So it was actually fun to ride around in. And the engine was the dirtiest fucking thing I've ever seen. He's like, I don't clean it. If I clean it, it's not going to run right. So fast forward a few years later, and I already had left Miami, and he reached out to me. He goes, hey, I'm ready to sell the car. You want to buy it? I'm like, sure. So I drive down there to get the car, get it home. And I'm like, all right, this thing needs a cleaning. I freaking cleaned the hell out of the engine bay. It had so much dirt and goo caked up on it that everything looked new, painted new when I took it all off. Ran like shit for a week. I don't know why. I couldn't figure it out. Well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just got to leave well enough alone, you know? And I mean, I don't know. I joked around with him too. I said, listen, you probably are never going to hear this from another mechanic in your life, because I'm literally talking myself out of work here, but I'm just like, man, hopefully it talks me into work down the road. Like when we go into stage 2 or 3 or 4 of this car and you want to start putting some fun parts into it, well, then let's worry about all that stuff then. But for right now, this thing is not puking its guts out. Just leave it alone. Just enjoy it, you know? And I think too, like for guys that have the intention of getting into this and like keeping a car for a long period of time, there's definitely something to be said about enjoying the steps along the way too, right? Versus like, let's just build my dream car overnight. I mean, sure, that's impressive, but I don't know, like, does that get you, if that's your stage 1, some, $150,000 restoration, well, is it going to be never ending from there too? Like, what's stage 2? Do you get into Tom's predicament where all of a sudden now you got like the car of cars, but you're looking for the next thing. What's the next thing? And the next thing, it's like, just let's do this in small bites, little here, little there, enjoy it, get used to it, get tired of it, maybe even, and then enjoy the next step and the next step. I don't know. It's funny because like, if you were to use the metaphor of eating ice cream, I am not this person. I fucking eat ice cream with my teeth. And my kids will sit there, it drives me nuts, and they'll just slowly lick the fucking ice cream. I'm like, guys, let's go. Like, we got shit to do, So it contradicts me in a lot of ways. But when it comes to these cars, I'm just like, enjoy every lick. Just take it easy, have some fun with it. And stage 2 and 3 will come whenever you're ready.
Oh, sounds like Mr. Owl's ready to start see how many licks it takes.
Well, we were talking about sucking dick earlier. I mean, shit. Nobody wants a quick blowjob, right?
I'm glad you caught the. Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Okay, boys. Well, listen, I'll maybe start signing us off with this. So I got a delivery today. It's not my delivery. I guess anyone that listens to the pod may be in on it, because I think I'm just gonna like slow drip this out and like kind of almost like throwing something off the side of the boat out in the middle of the ocean and seeing what comes up and bites it kind of deal, right? And I'm trying to think of a real good way to even bait you guys with this, but okay, let's go this way. It's a GT.
Okay. Fuck me, if it's dark shadow blue and titanium, I'm going to be pissed.
It's not.
Okay, good.
It actually, of all things that comes to mind, it looks like the shit box.
It looks like it, or it's actually it?
Well, it's a shit box, if I'm being honest. But same, like, overall patina, color, everything.
So what, it's coming in to be worked on? Or you like bought this pile of shit?
No, coming in to be worked on.
Nice.
I in all honesty, I don't know. I tried to avoid this. Not maybe avoid's the wrong word, but I tried to stay away from it, and for good reason. I'm just like, listen, I
You
don't
already
even
wore your full body condom once. You didn't want to do it again.
Well, I guess there's maybe a little bit of that flavoring in there too. But I'm just like, I don't know anything about this car. I mean, I like, sure, mechanical knowledge is somewhat generic, but I'm like, I don't know anything about this car. Not to mention the fact that I'm not involved in the community of this car either. So I don't even have a fucking friend I can call to go like, do you know where I can get windowsills for this thing? Like, nothing. And anyway, it went back and forth a bunch of times.
Oh, hold
At this
on.
point, I think I've had a conversation. Okay, I think I've had a conversation with you about it. So maybe don't let the cat out of the bag yet. Lewis
Now
doesn't know anything.
Now I know why it's a GT.
So,
oh, you pulled that. Oh, you took it on.
I did, yeah. So, anyway, I'm just trying to be in all honesty, like as honest with this fella as possible. And he's going, well, listen, I mean, I'm getting turned. This is maybe takes a little bit of the wind out of my sail. He's like, I'm getting turned down by everybody to take this thing on. I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, anyway, the guy is an absolutely like unbelievable soul of a human being. Met him in person, spent a bunch of time with him. Actually, it was the night that I was supposed to record with Tom and Oscar, Third Pedal, and do the whole reverse interview thing. And we ran a little late, me and this fella, and I was late for the pod or whatever. But anyway, after all that, I was like, you know what, dude? I mean, if you're good with knowing what you know or what I've told you about me and the fact that I'm going to be learning as I go with this thing, I'm good if you're good. He's like, okay, I'll send it to you. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, I guess we're doing it. Okay, damn, Lewis.
So it's going to be like a full resto then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Any guesses, Lewis?
Is it some... Well, wait a minute. What am I guessing on? Exactly.
It's a Gran Turismo in Italian. It's a Grand Touring. It's a GT.
Yeah.
And let's stay in the... I'll give you a little bit more of a hint. It does have a blue oval.
Oh, Escort.
You
mentioned Escorts in the past, and I thought Escort GT is kind of be fun to put a 5-liter swap in somehow. Right. Push ride. But
yeah,
so she's an 80s. Man, I haven't seen one of those in person. Fuck, it's got to be 25 years.
Dude, I said the exact same thing to the owner. I'm like, that's like the last time I've seen or heard of. Like, I didn't even know that they were still in existence. And he's like, I got like,
you know what's going to be cool though is your first video on this. All of a sudden, all these people are going to be like, "Oh, I know where there's that," or "I've got this," or "I've got that." Like,
they're going to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it'll actually be kind of a cool thing. Now, you might have the work and the parts and the logistics and doing all the other stuff. But there is some excitement to it.
When I first met my wife, they had a white Escort EXP with the body kit on it.
Oh yeah,
still remember? Yeah, they had one of those.
Well, yeah, I haven't like dove headfirst into this or anything. Well, like I said, it just showed up today, but it's been in conversations. So there's been these like weird little, it's like anything, right? You're going to go buy a new F-150 and then you see them all over the place kind of thing. So just this past weekend, flipping through Instagram, and I see Mike Johnson is out at a car show and he's posted up like the photo dump of a car show, right? As I'm flipping through, I'm like, whoa, what was that? Scan back a couple. Here's this little black Escort GT that's just mint. I'm like, who's this guy? So I got Mike's number. I text him. I said, hey, black Escort, do you know who this guy is? Yeah. It's, so-and-so, and I'll connect you two. So I get chatting with him. Dude, I mean, I don't want to put like the Fox body world and the Escort world side by side because that'd be unfair. Like there's just there are very few of those escorts still kicking around. But as it turns out, there's a community, right? And there's Facebook groups and there's all this stuff. And this guy has been an absolute beauty of a resource. He actually hit me up today. He goes, "Hey, have you ever heard of this Facebook group?" Of which I'm honestly just kind of reverting over to the owner of this car that came today. I'm going like, "Hey, this guy said there's a whole fucking interior, like brand new OEM NOS kind of shit for this Escort." And he's like, "Oh, fuck, I'll get on it." I'm like, "Yeah, because I think there's probably like 2 of these in the world." Like it's pretty rare shit. Anyways, yeah, this car shows up today, and Chris, I was thinking about you the whole time, dude. Shows up on a rollback from Georgia, and the driver can't speak English, right? And he wants to try to figure out where I want it kicked out and all this stuff. And then we get that all done. He's good at doing all that. But then he goes, "Okay, so how are we paying for this?" But he can't even really ask me that because he doesn't know enough English words. I'm like, "Oh fuck, I don't know what to tell you. I think the owner's paying. He didn't tell me I had to pay for this, you know." And he's looking at me like, "I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth." I'm like, I got a whiteboard. Would it help if I wrote it? Like, what do you want me to do here? Oh shit. But anyway, yeah, I got this little turd here today. It's a bit of a trip, just taking the little bit of a tour around it that I did. I mean, it's got a 1.9 liter HO, right? Buckle up. I'm sure that means like 102, not 95 horsepower. But yeah, 1.9 liter HO in it. Lots of manual? It is. It's a stick.
Nice.
It's like, well, here, just to put things into perspective, my oldest Kaylee, she called me today and I said, "Hey dude, are you anywhere that we could FaceTime real quick? I got to show you something." Yeah. So FaceTimer. I said, I'm going to run you out back and show you what got dropped off today. And I show it to her and she's like, "Dude, that's a wicked fox body." I'm like, whoa. Right? Easy.
Baby fox.
Yeah. This ain't
that's
no fox
bird without the feathers.
You're right. And but the fact that, my oldest, who's been around these things since she was born, kind of sees some of the nuances of the car and goes like, "Huh, that's kind of different," or looks like a fox body. It's got a lot of fox body flair to it for sure. But yeah, neat car all in all. I don't know if I'm getting myself into in over my head on all this, but as I get ready to kind of accept this car today, or whatever, this is maybe going back a couple days, but the owner goes, "Hey, I just picked up a Mercury Lynx. So whenever this one's done," I'm like, "Listen, let's get through car one." I mean, I have a funny feeling, and I did discuss this with him too. I'm like, I have a funny feeling you're going to flinch based on what it's going to take to put this car into the standard that you want it to be. And I'm not saying that to scare you or anything. I'm just being realistic. Like, I've seen the video on the car and it ain't going to be, a quick deal or a fun deal on the wallet.
Apparently the Lynx is an upscale version of the Ford Escort. I did not know that. I think it's quite ugly. So tell him another Escort, no more Lynx.
Well, okay. I mean, the picture that I got of the one he got is like a pretty kick-ass looking car.
Is it the Lynx XR3?
Oh,
it's kind of like an Escort GT. Yeah. Here.
Yeah, but they've got like kind of a wider 4-spoke wheel on them. Is that the one you're looking at?
It's right on like some 13s.
Yeah, there's 15s on this one.
That weird looking wheel.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's even two-tone.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
I still think the Escort looks better than.
Isn't that the one that runs? Didn't he have one that ran?
Well, this one apparently does. And not to ruin the way that I'm probably going to unfold this whole story, but I mean, there's going to be a will it start video.
Yeah.
Just because, buddy, well, you've been to the shop, Chris. So he runs it back by like the dumpster and kicks it out back there. And it came with keys in it. And actually, it came with like 3 manuals too, which will probably come in handy, if I'm being honest. But anyway, kicks it out back there. I'm like, well, shit, this thing's sitting here with like 8 pounds of pressure in all 4 tires. Maybe I'll just see if it'll start real quick, even though I'm going to build a story surrounding like, can I get it to start? She won't start. But quickly pop the hood. I'm like, fucking thing's got a brand new alternator, brand new Dizzy cap on her. Some butt connectors and shit, like standard issue stuff. But I'm like, for all intents and purposes, this thing should start. And you know what's funny? When you roll the key forward, you get the same Fox body fuel pump hum.
Oh, really?
Totally. So I take out my air pressure, kind of remote air pressure gun. I'm going to fill the tires up because I'm thinking, fuck, I got to push this thing around the back of the lot here to get it out of the way. And I'm like, well, while I'm waiting for the tire to fill up, I'll just take a knee and feel my way around this thing. Well, turns out the gas tank ain't in the back. It's under the like asses of your rear passenger seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, this thing's going to be fun to drain, right? Because I'm sure that's probably
do you have
95.
Access to the sending unit and stuff underneath the seat?
That's where I'm going first. But now I'm kind of ruining the will it start video, right? But that's where I'm going with it. Totally.
Nice. Well, that's cool, man.
Well, in all honesty, I think it kind of will be. There was something weird about all this too. Because, yeah, I think I've been talking to you about it since it originally popped up. I just don't think we talked about it here on the air or whatever. But so like I told you the story, tried to stay away from it, met the guy, great guy, wicked backstory. Then I accept that I guess I'm going to do it. And then just the other day, because this car was actually supposed to show up at the end of last week, but in true transportation format, that went out the window. Even today, actually, it was supposed to show up yesterday. I waited at the shop until 8 o'clock last night. Buddy decides he's not coming tonight, right? Then he goes, okay, I'm going to be there tomorrow morning between 8 and 9. Perfect. I'll be there. Fucking car gets dropped off at 11:15, right? Like, guys, I mean, whatever. So in and amongst all of this, in YouTube land, I open up just, the YouTube fucking page the other day, and it shows you, well, if you've posted a video, yours will be there. Like, it's shit that you've paid attention to over the last little bit. Well, quite honestly, I have not paid any attention to anything Ford Escort related, but Top Gear is one of those channels that I'll frequent every once in a while if there's something that tickles my nuts, right? Well, as it turns out, there's this outfit in the UK that has reimagined like I want to say an early 70s Ford Escort, one in which I don't think North America even saw. This is like a UK edition of an Escort. And it's like a $350,000 Ford Escort. Kind of like a Singer Escort.
Apparently.
Did what?
Like, did she suck a dick? It's an expensive Escort.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's like, I guess I don't know why I want to try to justify the price tag, but I watched a little bit of the video, and it is like very Porsche Singer-esque. Like, there's nothing that hasn't been touched on it. Super light car. I want to say like a little 350 plus horsepower mill in it. So tons of fun. And the Europeans are crazy about the whole like hot hatch. Like, they love the hatchback scene, right? So anyway, this thing hits my radar and I'm like, why the fuck is this showing up right now? Is this the whole like, I'm going to buy a half-ton Ford and now I'm seeing them everywhere? I don't know. But long story short, I've laid on the sword.
Well, I look forward to the introduction video.
Here, make it look like that.
Well, dude, okay, that like I said, I haven't dove head first into any of this, but I have done a couple quick little Google searches. And I mean, once I've seen it now too, like, your creative mind.
I know he likes wagons. There's a wagon also.
Well, shit, I'm going to see if I can find this now, boys. So I ended up telling my mom this story. And Chris, you haven't met mom in person, but you know mom.
Yeah.
She's like, do you realize that we brought you home in a Ford Escort when you were born? I'm like, get the fuck out of here, mom. She's like, I swear to God, 2-tone blue on dark blue, interior blue, like just a throw up of blue, right? And she goes, it was a 4-door wagon. Well, I end up getting the video from the guy that owns this little 87 GT, and I'll be damned if one of his parts cars isn't a blue on blue Escort. So, oh yeah. So my mom she goes digging through the old like lick and stick pages of a photo album, and she goes, I know I've got a picture of you in a baby seat sitting in the back cargo area of that thing, but the picture she found was me out on a little bouncy seat thing with the Escort in the background. Now my mom sends me so much shit. Hopefully I can find this thing in short order.
That's what moms do, man.
Oh God. It's endless. But yeah, anyway, turns out maybe Escort's running my blood a little bit. For all I know, maybe like old Harris Lou. Maybe I was. Oh, there it is. Oh, but you know what? I'm lying to you. It's a 2-door brown on brown Escort.
Just as ugly.
Oh, there it is. This tan.
Oh, that's gross.
It's goat shit on tan.
He looks like he's passed out.
Oh, he probably is.
He had a couple beers.
Oh, I think
in his bottle.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Can't control my arms. Yeah. Maybe the story was mom thought it was blue on blue. Anyway. Yeah, so here we go. Going back to my roots, I guess. Roots I didn't even know I had.
Oh. Well,
yeah.
Cool, man. Well, probably a good place to end it. We better go check on these ladies.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for the chat, boys. Lewis, always a pleasure, buddy. Hey, one thing that I wanted to bring up when you were telling the Boston story, and I didn't get the chance to, man, I got to get my ass to Boston. Did you hear anyone say like wicked awesome?
I think I might have heard someone shoot off wicked. I don't know about wicked awesome.
Oh,
you definitely can get a t-shirt that says it on there. That's for sure.
Right. I know. And I can't help but think I might have to like head up further northeast into that like main area to really get what I'm looking for. But I don't know. The whole Boston jam just fucking melts me, man. Like those are my people. I want to hear some wicked awesomes.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, this has been wicked fucking awesome, boys. And yeah, we'll leave her there. So thanks for listening, ladies and gents. And yeah, enjoy the podcast.